Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com, and in this video we are going to talk about imagination is spiritual sensation, seeing with the eye of God, right? And I want to explain that to you because, in my opinion, when you really know and realize what imagination is, then it's actually way easier to manifest your goals, to shift into the desired version of yourself, to shift into any desired internal state that you want to occupy, because you realize how simple and free-flowing this can be if you understand also those deeper fundamentals of the law of assumption. That is why I want to bring them in here right now. So, and then you also understand what is being meant when we say seeing with the eye of God, which is what your imagination does. So before I jump in, quick side note, as always, if you want to find out more and learn more on how to manifest your goals, consistently without any falling back into old undesirable states, and you want straight to the point talk without any hype, fluff, or woo-woo, then check out the first link in the description. That's my free masterclass. It's only 18 minutes long. And if you want to work with me to take things to the next level and apply those principles that I share on my channel in your life to really manifest your goals and live self-empowered, then you can apply for a free consultation call with me to figure out if we are a good fit to work in my program. That's the second link in the video description. And with that, let's talk about imagination, right? This is obviously one of the main topics that Neville shared during all of his books. Imagination creates reality, but what does it mean, and why is imagination spiritual sensation? Let me get into that right now. So first of all, here's some quotes. Now, this is what I mean by spiritual sensation. Imagine that you're holding a rose in your hand. Smell it. Do you detect the odor of roses? Well, if the rose is not there, why is its fragrance in the air? Through spiritual sensation, that is through imaginal sight, sound, scent, taste, and touch, you can give to the image sensory vividness. If you do this, all things will conspire to aid your harvesting, and upon reflection you will see how subtle were the threads that led to your goal. So, through spiritual sensation, through the use of your imaginal sight, sound, scent, taste, and touch, you will give to your image sensory vividness necessary to produce the image in your outer or shadow world. And that's the introduction, the quotes I used to introduce this topic to you, because again, like Neville's saying, imagination is spiritual sensation, meaning to sense something, right, that is not visible for your senses. That is what imagination, aka spiritual sensation, enables you to do. And then he gives this great example with the rose, and I really challenge you to try this out. I will also at the end give another example of another test basically that you can do. And to test this, right, imagine a rose, like Neville is telling us here, right? Smell it. Really imagine a rose, smell it, and you realize that you can do this. Your imagination enables you to have this experience, even though there is right now in this world of shadow, in this world of Caesar, there is no rose in front of you, right? So why is its fragrance in the air if it's not there? Because it is there. You spiritually sense something that is not manifested, but it is still existing within consciousness. And if you really do this, right, if you then stay true to this imaginal act, which I explain in other videos on my channel, then this is what you will produce in your world. This is what you manifest, right? If you then stay faithful to this experience that you had, and you know it's true, you know it's real. So believe me, imagination is spiritual sensation. Take my words to hear and achieve your every desire. Learn to walk by faith and not by sight. Knowing what you would see if your goal were reached, how would you feel if you were there, right? What would you do now if it were true? Walk in the state and you will achieve it. Like I always tell you, right? We walk by faith and not by sight. We walk by faith that we already that what we want to be. And we already have that what we want to have, even though there is no proof. And that is what faith is. I also have a very interesting lesson about faith, which I will link above right now, where I talk about why faith is important and actually how to gain a lot of faith. So check this out. And I also have another video that I will link right now. This is also important. It's called "Is Faith the Only Requirement?" which I will also link here right now. So then, as always, right, this should be nothing new to you. Know what you would see if your goal were reached. So again, we come up with a scene, with a little act, with a little simple thing that implies fulfillment, and then we spiritually sense this. It's like that you actually have the experience of that thing that implies fulfillment, and therefore you really shift into the state the wish fulfilled, which is all that counts. And then you walk in that state, you walk in that knowing, you walk in that realization that what you just did is real. And so I want to show this to you in an image, because I really like visual explanations. So I want to show this to you. Now, everything that you experience right now, when you look up your phone or your laptop, your screen, and you look around you, that's like your current three-dimensional experience, right? What you experience with your senses right now. And then when we imagine something, we, for now, oftentimes thought that, yeah, we imagine something, but that's like outside of us, that's like just some fantasy, or maybe that's just in our mind, and we declare it as not being really real. But what if we now realize that both our current three-dimensional experience, which seems to be so solidly real and such a strong, solid fact experience, and also the thing that we imagine is both happening within consciousness, right? Within our true self, within God, if you want to take this term, or the creator, right? Everything is already being in existence. Then there's one tiny snippet that your senses experience right now, which is your current 3D experience that you have right now. And then when you imagine something, you literally experience something that is already in existence, and that is from like consciousness point of view as real as your three-dimensional experiences. Like consciousness does not say, oh, like 3D is real and imagination is like fantasy or not real. For consciousness, both are valid experiences. And we now realize that imagination, when we imagine something, we can shift into a preferred state and therefore make it live, therefore occupied, and therefore then it is reflected back in this three-dimensional experience again, in this shadow world again. And that's the power that we have. So that is just in a simple image, right? It's not that it looks like this, but that's just to explain it in a better way how this works, right? So let's go on. Imagination is defined as spiritual sensation. And then Neville said, come, let us now sense spiritually things that are not physically present. Right now, I want you to feel a tennis ball, then a baseball, then a volleyball, then a golf ball. They all feel different, do they not? Right? And you can make this, you can pause the video, or after this video, you can just try it for fun if you want to do this, or you can do this with any other given object. You can really try to sense it, to spiritually sense it, to imagine it, that you hold it. And then ask yourself, when you felt it, when you come back, like, where did you just felt this? Like, how can you feel or sense something that is not in existence? Again, this is not possible. You can only have experiences of something that is already real and valid. And when you internalize that, accept this and realize this, and you imagine your goal and something that implies that you have it, or something that implies that you are already this desired version of you that is more self-empowered, more free, more loving, more appreciated, more whole, more complete, then it does already exist, right? If you can discriminate between different balls, are they not real? If you can touch a tennis ball and then spiritually distinguish it from a baseball, it must exist, even though it is unseen by mortal eye, right? So your human eyes, your human senses, they cannot sense this. They are really limited. That is why from this point on forward, you should accept that your senses, your human senses, are extremely limited in comparison to all that there is. So it's like, imagine a big cake, like the image that I showed you, right? There's a big cake. Your senses, they experience like a tiny snippet, but through your imagination, you can tap into other things that are already in existence, which are infinite things. So you see, you can behold a thing that is not seen by your mortal eye as though it were. And if you do, your faith will cause the unseen to become the seen, right? Your faith in that unseen thing, your faith in that unseen state will cause it to objectify, to be mirrored back to you, to be also shown in your three-dimensional experience. Or that's the awesome thing. That is what your imagination is here for, and that is this creative power of your imagination. That is why Neville always is telling us that our imagination is God, or is like this creative power within us. And that is also why there is this quote that the imagination is seeing with the eye of God. Because remember, when everything is consciousness, and with imagination you place your focus off the physical experience, you like take it off and you place it on non-physical imagery and images, then you see with consciousness, you experience something else with your consciousness that is not manifested yet. And you may call it fantasy or delusion, but realize by now what is actually going on. And again, check the video out that I did on how to imagine correctly if you want to take this into practice, if you want to apply this to manifest your goals. And this is really powerful, right? So I hope you understand this, right? I hope by now you know what imagination, aka spiritual sensation, is on an even deeper level. If you have questions, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you really much for watching, guys. I hope you like those more like also deeper type of videos. I know I have some normal ones. I have some videos about techniques. I have some videos about or talk about what different concepts mean. And I then have those deeper explanations of things so that you can have those deep internal shifts that are enabling you to live self-free, to live self-empowered, to be self-reliant. And with that, see you in the next video. Bye, guys.